So today I'm going to be talking about the first rebuild of Evangelion movie, and it's going to be a set of videos where I talk about every rebuild movie until I'm able to watch the English version of 3.0 plus 1.0, or aka Thrice Upon a Time. So I want to start off with the first Evangelion movie, and I will tell you guys this, I love the Evangelion series. I really do love Neon Genesis Evangelion in general, and I didn't know whether to start off with the original series before I moved on to the end of Evangelion and then move on to the movies, but I feel like Rebuild would have been the easier shot to go first because the short, it's not that long of a movie, it's an hour and 40 minutes, but you know, I wanted to talk about the first Rebuild movie and you know, just to look back on this video and be like, man, where have things gone? Before I even get started talking about the movie, it's just so weird. The movie feels weird, you know, like I know it's an adaptation of the first 6 Eva episodes, right? But at the same time, it doesn't feel like a movie. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like a collection of episodes. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, I think it's because, like, I know what the movie is based on. That's what throws me off. Like, I feel like if I watched this movie completely normally, without no knowledge of Evangelion prior, then I think things would be different because I can see it as its own movie. But when I watch this knowing about the first 6 episodes, it doesn't feel like they should be a movie. Now, they had to, you know, angle stuff in a way and change some stuff around in order to make it fit in the movie format, and I appreciate that, but it just feels weird, you know? Like, 2.0 and 3.0 feel like movies, you know? This one, because it's, you know, based off the first 6 episodes of Evangelion, I can kind of see why it doesn't feel like a movie to me, because I have prior knowledge of those episodes, and jamming all those episodes together, even with some theatrical shit to it, doesn't feel like a movie. So anyway, so before we start off with the movie where like this red water, right? Now there's this red water. It's because of like the second impact, right? Because of the second impact, it kind of, you know, ruined the entire Earth. We don't have much knowledge of the second impact, but you know, it's as of this movie at least. But it's implied that because the second impact happened, all this blood from like, I can't remember. I have to go to 2.0 to remember that part. But the point is, the second impact ruined the environment of the Earth. Water is red. And like it's highly reminiscent of like the end of Evangelion, where like, you know, after Shinji rejects instrumentality and the entire world is, you know, covered in bloody water and shit like that, and you know it does the same shore where like, you know, hey, we just cut to that scene where the red water is opening on the white beach shore and shit like that. So it's kind of funny that like Anno would tie it to end of Eva like that. Now, you know, I haven't seen the 3.0 1.0 movie. I know some spoilers, but I don't even know enough to justify, you know, making a video and tying to it because it's only a video about 1.0. But yeah. But anyway, next we're shown as, you know, ruined city with a huge outline of a humanoid being, which, like, you know, it's showing subtle things to show us different from the first 6 episodes of Evangelion. Some of these things, you know, weren't really here. But, you know, eventually, you know, some of the things that do happen in the first 6 episodes of Evangelion still happens. Shinji arrives, Masato arrives to take Shinji away from the Angel. They know conventional weaponry doesn't work too well in the Angel, and they even try to use it in 2 Mine, and it doesn't work at all. Gendo mentions about the Angels eating the fruit of life, and they can eliminate the humans who ate the fruit of knowledge. Nerve is introduced. You know, Shinji meets up with Shinji is taking around Nerve with Misato. He sees the Geo front. You know, Ritsuko and Fuyusuki show up to do their cameo. You know, yada yada, it's the same shit. There are some things that are different. You know, like there are some things that are different. There's subtle differences. I'm trying to remember exactly. It has been a while, right? It's been a while since I've watched the original Evangelion, you know, series in full. And I'm trying to remember stuff without having to go out of order to try to get it, you know, done. Because I really want to explain some stuff, and I don't want it to make it seem like it's like, you know, confusing. Because I pray to God, if you guys are watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. Because, you know, trying to say, you know, all this shit, it's like, whatever. Anyway, so in the original series, Misato leads Shinji around Nerve headquarters for the first time. She says she's still new to the base, so she kind of, you know, finds her way around, but she can't really do so. And then, you know, later on, Ritsuko shows up and tries to bring him out. Misato kind of hides the map behind. It's like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I don't know where I'm going. You know, shit like that. So in Rebuild, Masato and Shinji look away for Nerve and look around Nerve. And that scene is kind of cut because it's, you know, time restrictions and all that shit. And then it cuts straight to Masato's car entering Geofront to the elevator. and then how, when they're still in the elevator, Misato's still holding the map. It's subtle differences like that. It's subtle difference like that because like they show in the movie that Misato and Shinji were looking around her headquarters, while in the movie they have the scene there. It's like small differences. There are also some other things. I don't want to go out of order with these differences because I know the differences between that and the original series. It's just trying to remember them exactly off the top of my head. But anyway, going back to the whole Shinji meeting Unit 1 thing, Shinji is introduced to Unit 1, and then they call it humanity's last hope of survival. Shinji is immediately told to be the pilot, and understandably, he is upset that Gendo is kind of using him for this. Shinji hasn't seen Gendo in so long, and now the first thing he hears is like, hey, son, I want you to pilot this giant robot and go out and fight for humanity, please, son. So, yeah, kind of shitty father. Shinji is... See, here's what I'm trying to remember. It's been a while, right? It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I'm sorry, seen the series, but I just watched the movie again yesterday, just try to remember some shit. So I remember the movie, right? That Rei, they introduced Rei, right? They introduced Rei, and then Rei was like, okay, I think she was injured from the previous, like, outing with with an angel. And, well, not really the angel, I think it's like the previous outing, like, on Unit 0, I think. And if I remember correctly, that, Shinji sees Rei and notices that she's hurt. He notices that she's hurt, and then he essentially just, goes forward. It's like, hey, look, I'll pilot the angel. I said the angel. Pilot the angel. Oh my god. Anyway, I will pilot Unit 1. I'll be your pilot. He kind of sees Rei, and he's like, okay, she can't do this. It's stuff like that. It's like, yeah, she's not gonna be able to do this. I gotta do it for her. I mean, I'm scared as hell, but I gotta do it for her. But if I remember correctly, in the original series, if I remember correctly, I think like he, what was it? I'm trying to remember exactly what caused Shinji to, get into the Ava the first time. Because it wasn't because of Rei. It wasn't because of Rei. I think it was... Oh, no, I remember. Unit 1 protected him, and that's what caused him to get into the unit. That's what it was. It's some stuff had to fall on Shinji, and Unit 1 pulled out an arm to block that stuff and help him. So, Yui coming through the unit and, helping Shinji. So, yeah. Been a minute. I told you guys, it's been a minute since I've seen the original series. I'm trying to remember exactly off the shit about this. But anyway, moving on from all that, Shinji gets into the Ava, et cetera, fights the angel, do some cool shit. They reveal human instrumentality. It's the same paces that the original series goes. There's some things they had to cut. For example, after Shinji runs away from Nerve, and, well, technically, he ran away from Misato and Nerve. There was a scene in the original series where he met up with Kensuke, and Kensuke had kind of like a camp out. They talked to each other, and then the goons from Nerve came in and tried to take Shinji back in. And in this movie, Shinji just leaves, and then he reaches a dead end, right? And he's like, okay, fine, just talking about the Misato, F it. Shit like that. So, yeah, I kind of like the scene with Kensuke, and I know they weren't going to keep it somehow, but I like the scene with Kensuke more, because, first of all, we don't get much of Toji and Kensuke in these Ava movies, and I'll get into that when we get to 2.0. But yeah, it kind of sucks though, because I actually like that scene with him and Kensuke, because they're actually talking to each other. We get to see more of Kensuke and what he gets to do, because as of the 2.0 movies, they don't do much with Toji and Kensuke. They kind of sidelight them bad. I mean, they weren't super important in the original series, but there was some moments that they were in that were actually pretty good, especially Toji, for Christ's sake. So yeah, it sucks, but whatever. But anyway, yeah, there's some I don't know, there's not much for me to say about this movie. Honestly, it goes through the same kind of stuff that we've been realizing in the original Evangelion series, because this is the part where the series doesn't skew off, but there are some things that they did change. There's some things that they did change, going forward. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the movie just exactly order. Misato allows Shinji to live with her, cheers her up, telling him that he protected a beautiful city like Tokyo 3. They fight the fifth angel. Shinji kind of acts like a little shit to Misato, which I wanted to punch him for that. Shinji kind of rubs me the wrong way. He was he acted like a little shit sometimes in the original series, but something about Ava, like rebuild of Ava Shinji 1.0 makes you want to freaking ram a fist through his face, but I get him, but at the same time he acts like a piece of shit sometimes, and it makes you want to punch his ass out. He gets better in 2.0 and 3.0, but damn it, dude, like, oh my god. Anyway, there was a scene where they go to Rei's, Shinji goes to Rei's apartment. See, Rei's apartment was a lot grosser in the original series because she had like trash lying around, she didn't like pick up shit. Et cetera, et cetera. So, like, in the rebuild movies, Rei's apartment is kind of, like, cleaner than it usually is. And I kind of feel like that's kind of ruins away her character, because it's not, like, Rei's a slob. It's just that she just doesn't care about anything at this point of the movie, except, like, a very few things, like, her attachment to Gendo's glasses, Gendo himself, et cetera, et cetera. That's what gets me. Like, I kind of miss that little subtle thing. Like, like Rei's apartment is kind of gross because she just doesn't care. She just doesn't care at all. So there's, and then like in this movie, it's like a lot cleaner. I mean, the only dirty thing you really see is like the occasional, like I think like a box of bloody bandages you'll see. I get it, updated visuals and shit like that. Hell, even Masato's underwear and bras got freaking a visual upgrade, for Christ's sakes. Like in the original, they were like some kind of bulk, plain, like factory standard like underwear, in case like it's like if you were poor. But like in Rebuild, it's like freaking full on like fancy frilly lingerie and shit like that. I'm like, what the frick? Like honestly, I get it because like I don't know, man. It's like, why would you do that? There was like no reason. The whole point of the underwear looking like that in the original series is like, humanity's at the brink of destruction. There's like no fancy shit that we can have, so we kind of have to like, get what we can get. Even like this factory ugly ass bulk underwear, but like in the new movie, everything's all like fancy and shit. I'm like, oh god damn it. If the movie's gonna have upgraded visuals, Masato's underwear is gonna have upgraded visuals. Jesus Christ, dude. But anyway, let's see here. Shinji gives Rei her card. They go on the elevator. See, there's another thing I wish that Rebuild did. Like, I remember in the original series where, like, there's a scene where Rei slapping Shinji. And Shinji was all like, Rei was like, oh, do you have faith in your father? It's like, no, how can anyone have faith in him? Like, like he was like snarky about it. Like, I forgot what he exactly said, but like, it was like a lot more crueler than it was. And then that prompted Rei to slap him, right? In the Rebuild movie, it's kind of softened a bit because, like, I watched the English version, so I don't know how the Japanese version kind of changed it. But Shinji's like, Rei's like, do you have faith in your father? Do you not trust his work? Like, and Shinji's like, no, who can trust him? Who can have faith in him like that? So like, it was like a lot softer than it was, and then she prompts to slap him like really hard. But like in the original series, Shinji was like a lot more like pissy about it. And I don't know, man. Like I like that better. There's some things that I wish that Rebuild did. Like, but anyway, moving back for that. So we get to the Ramiel encounter. Ramiel is like my favorite part, one of my favorite parts in the movie. He gets like a massive buff, man. He gets multiple forms. Like he gets like the CGI. One thing I want to talk about in the movie is the CGI. The CGI looks really good in this movie, and especially for like a 2000. This movie came out, I think, 2007. So like this movie looks really good for like the first Evangelion movie after end of Eva, right? So, like, this movie looks really good. The CGI looks good. It doesn't look so bad. And I think it comes into its own when you have freaking Ramiel here, right? Ramiel is freaking insane. It has, as I said before, it has multiple forms. Like, it's pretty interesting how they use Ramiel in this form. Because in the original series, Ramiel didn't really transform. It just had like this. It was just the freaking shape. it was just the shape. There was also another thing they did that was cool that I liked, is that like in the original version of in the original series, Ramiel, he was able to drill down to the nerve headquarters, and the drill seemed separate from the rest of its body. Like it was like more mechanical, like a machine. But in this version, Ramiel's drill is actually itself, and it's using its AT field, presumably, to break, to form itself into a drill, like its bottom half into a drill, and using its AT field to penetrate the lower barriers. I like that because one, it makes more sense in regards of Ramiel being able to transform in this version, and two, I still have no idea what the hell the drill was for in the original series. It looks so separate from what it usually looks like the angel itself. So I'm like, what the freak? Why is it? Why does the drill look like that? It's like mechanical now. It's like a machine. I'm like, I mean, it makes more sense in this version because Ramiel's like this weird Eldritch abomination that can transform, which I like. It looks so cool. I think it's one of my favorite angel designs in general because like you can see it in multiple forms. It could become a shield. It could become a giant gun thing. It could become like a freaking giant star like thing. Like I keep saying things, but like that's what Ramiel's doing. It's transforming into various things. And on top of that, it's one-shot Shinji in their first encounter. And I don't know. I don't know. Just the fact that the moment Shinji pops out and then Ramiel just shoots him and nearly kills him, it's the funniest shit ever. Like, they had no chance. Shinji didn't even get to move from his spot to do anything to Ramiel. And then Ramiel just like, oh shit, Angel. Pew! No, sorry. No shit, Unit 1. Pew! But anyway, so they're going to figure out a plan to how to take out Ramiel, because anytime they'll try to fire at Ramiel, it'll just immediately counterattack back, right? So Misato comes up with a plan called Operation Yashima. And I will always think that Operation Yashima is the coolest shit ever. A plan to use all the electricity all across the nation of Japan to charge a massive gun being used by an Evangelion, which is being joined to it as a sniper, will never not be cool to me. I like the way that, like, okay, so yeah, positrons are affected by the Earth's gravity rotation and shit like that. So Unit 1 has to be used as a counterbalance in order to compensate for shit like that. I don't know why, but I find it as the coolest thing ever, and I will never not find it cool. I don't know. It's cool. I don't know. It's cool. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Operation Yashima. So anyway. So after all that, Shinji is like, well, shit, dude, do I have to do this? Like, everybody's getting serious now. So Misato decides to show Shinji Lilith. And I think she shows Shinji Lilith way earlier. Like, I think Shinji doesn't see... Like, we don't see Lilith at all until, like, episode 15, I think, of the original Eva series. And in this version... Shinji doesn't even actually see Lilith until like episode 24. That's when he fights Kaoru, and they break down to like the terminal dogma. But in this version, we see Lilith so early, and that's because Misato shows Lilith to Shinji. I have some effed up theory that like this event, like Misato showing Shinji Lilith this early, is why Eva 2.0 skewed off course from the OG series. I have no backing for this. But damn, I could imagine if that was the case. Like, imagine that shit. Like, Misato does one thing and shows Shinji Lilith way earlier than he's supposed to see it, and boom. Ruin the continuity. But anyway, moving on from all that, I like the scenes, what they did with Ramiel in the final scenes with Shinji versus Ramiel and, Rei joining in. I like those scenes because, like, it makes it, like, I remember saying in the beginning of the video that it doesn't really feel like a film, like, most of the time. But I personally believe that this is what makes the movie feel like a movie. The final scenes where everything's all dark and shit, and Shinji's having one final stand. Freaking Masato's going and trying to tell Gendo's like, look, don't give up on your son. He can do this. Look, he got into the Eva. We should all back him. All of Japan is behind you, Shinji. And I like that scene. It's powerful, like... Even Masato's telling Gendo, like, don't give up on your son. He got into the Eva. That's one thing, right? So he can do this. He's getting up. Look at him. And I like that scene. Rei protecting Shinji was also pretty nice, too. The thing about Rei is that we don't get much of Rei in this movie. And Rei's importance gets increased, like, a lot in Eva 2.0. When you think about Rei's importance throughout the series, she kind of dips a bit. Like, you see Rei, she's like important for like the first few episodes, and then she kind of gets sidelined until like near the end of the series. Like, there's more focus is placed on Shinji and Asuka. Rei is there, but like compared to the focus she got into the original first few episodes, she kind of dips a bit. So, I like that 2.0 is essentially based around Shinji and Rei's relationship, but I'm not at that part yet. I'm not this one. And so we get to the end. So after Shinji beats Ramiel, all this shit happens. Rei smiles, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like Rei smiling wasn't unearned because, like, we didn't get much of her. Well, I mean, compared. Then again, this is like a adaptation of the first few episodes, so I feel like they did a pretty good job. We should have thought more of Rei though, but whatever. Again, that's 2.0. But anyway, so after all that, we get into the end of the movie, right? We get into the end of the movie. Kaoru shows up at the very end. It's pretty ominous because he's on the moon, right? He's on the moon with like several other caskets. And these caskets, there's like, I think 9 of them. So Kaoru pops out one of them. And I'm like, okay, why is he, okay, what's up with this? But when I looked at closer at the moon, there's a blood streak on it. And the only time we ever see a blood streak, or like a red line, of course, the only time we ever see a blood streak on the moon is end of Eva. You know, that's after Shinji rejects instrumentality and the giant Lilith ray starts to fall apart and her blood, you know, spews from her, you know, body and spews all over the moon, which is so freaking insane. But yeah, Kaoru also mentions like, hey, the third one again. And I think he's talking about Shinji. Because, like, Shinji's the third child. And he says again, which throws me off. Like, why is he saying again? Like, what do you mean? Like, what's happening? And, like, you know how people thought about that that loop theory? That, like, you know, maybe 3.0 plus 1.0 has? I don't think 3.0 plus 1.0 has the loop. I haven't seen the movie yet. But, and please don't tell me the movie. I want to know for myself. But anyway, I don't know if it confirms the loop theory or anything like that. But it would make sense as like the events looped back on themselves, like this, like, you know, end of Ava is like this thing you can't escape from, no matter how many Evangelion movies you try to make to get away from it. End of Ava just can't not be forgotten. So yeah, I don't know. Kaoru shows up way earlier in this movie because again, you don't see Kaoru until episode 24. And that's the only episode you see him in. I mean, unless you want to count End of Ava. And if you want to count some smaller scenes and, like, you know, the final 2 episodes of Evangelion. But other than that, Kaoru shows up, dies. And he shows up, becomes buddy-buddy with Shinji, and then dies. You know, kicks off the events for End of Ava after he killed the final angel. So, yeah, Kaoru showing up at the end of the movie is pretty ominous. You know, like, it's like, oh, shit, Shinji's being shown to love earlier. Shinji's getting closer to Rei. You know, like, it's like things are starting to happen, you know? And I think the moment that, you know, Masato showed Rei Lilith, we were all... Because there was no way in hell, right? They were going to save Lilith all the way to Ava 2.0. Because Ava 2.0 like skews off in the main series. There's like some things in there that aren't in the main series. And again, I'll get to that when I get to that. But yeah. So yeah, Kaoru showed up in the end. I thought he was when he said the third one again, I always thought he was talking about like the third impact, which would make sense because like, you know, that's what happened at End of Ava. But I was like, no, there's no way that, you know, another third impact. Like, what the frick? But technically, it kind of did because like I want to know what the deal is with the blood on the moon because even after Ava 3.0, we still have no idea what's the deal with the 1.0 scene. So I pray to God they explain that in the final movie. There's some things about 3.0 they need to explain, but yeah, that's not either here or there. So yeah, moving. So that was the end of the movie. Overall, my thoughts on the movie, pretty good. It's Ava, you know, it's Ava. One thing I want to talk about is the scenery. I love everything in this movie. Everything looks so good in this movie. I mean, just like the apocalyptic backgrounds of the movie where like some angels exploded and died. Freaking this, like some of the scenes itself, like Shinji fighting back I don't know, I forgot his face. Shinji fighting back Ramio, like shit like that looks really, really good. Like, I'm trying to remember all the scenes off the top of my head, because I'm just in the front of a camera right now, trying to speak this shit. But anyway, you know, Ramio peering over the damn city, Masato and Ritsuko at the bar, freaking Shinji walking around the rainy, gray city of Tokyo 3, like, shit like that. Like, I don't know why. It looks really cool. I don't know. Even Shinji's freaking, even Unit 1 glowing in the goddamn, steady night where it fights back the fourth angel is the coolest shit. And speaking of the angels, can I just say that it's depressing that like the angels are now called Angel and they're by their number. They don't even have their names anymore. That's freaking lame, bruh. Freaking lame. Now I gotta remember, oh, this is and then they introduced new angel designs. I'm like, what the fuck? God damn it. But anyway, the movie looks fantastic. It's a 2007 anime movie. It looks so good, like really good. Like they done a good job with the way the movie looks.
They even done a great job with the cast, the English dub chosen for Eva, because I had to watch the Netflix dub of the Evangelion series, and it just didn't hit right. It was not even like nostalgia, like it's not even just me being nostalgic for the original dub. The Netflix dub just doesn't hit at all, man. No one feels right. I love people like Carrie Keranen and John Young Bosch, but no, they don't fit these characters, man. It's like they chose a pool of English voice actors and just plucked them. And I'm like, why? Like Spike Spencer returning as Shinji is nice. Rei being voiced by Brina Palacina is actually pretty nice. Masato is Allison Keith. Ritsuko as Colleen Clickenbeard. Gendo as John Swayze. Toji as Justin Cook. Kensuke as Greg Arias. You know, they all done an amazing job. I mean, I still like the original Evangelion dub, you know, because like it had like more character to it. You know, like something about those early episodes where everyone just was slowly getting into slowly getting into their roles and they overact everything and underact. I miss that, you know, like I missed that back in the day because it's like an amateur group of people trying to dub an anime, and the thing about it got better over time. You know, people rip on End of Ava's dub for being weird, but like honestly, I kind of like it. You know, it makes it, you know, feel more alive, and I can actually remember shit. But yeah, yeah, freaking voice stutter. But yeah, Rebuild's dub is really good. John Swayze as Gendo is like perfect. Everyone's roles are actually just perfect. I mean, like I haven't found a bad role in these Evangelion movies. Everyone fits perfectly. There's the movie, music. My bad. There's the music made by the legendary god himself, Shirou Sagisu. Shirou Sagisu is a composer that I really, 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 really love. He is a masterful composer. Like, there's so much work that goes into even his smaller tracks. It's insane. He single-handedly made Bleach one of the most diverse anime soundtracks of all time. He single-handedly made Evangelion, Rebuild of Evangelion, all their soundtracks are the most iconic songs of their time. And even to this day. Shirou Sagisu's music is one thing I'm so hyped about when Bleach comes back in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, because, oh my god. I can only imagine what new remixes the anime is going to get. I can only imagine the rest of the Rebuild of Evangelion soundtrack is. Because, like, Shirou Sagisu is like madman, dude. He knows how to rock every instrument he can get his hold of. Piano, guitar, violin, freaking, like, everything, dude. Like, Jesus, freaking techno, everything. The guy is incredibly diverse, and it works so well with Evangelion, you know? Now that Evangelion got a facelift, it got a music lift as well. The orchestral pieces are so on point. It's madness. The remixes of the older songs got a much better facelift. Like, hearing the new version of Decisive Battle, which, like, shit, man, it sounds so good. It sounds so good. I can't even listen to you. So sorry. Anyway, I can't even listen to the original series no more, man. Holy shit. Like, the original series soundtrack, F that. No, I'm kidding. Nah, but seriously, Shirou Sagisu is a madman. Like, the dude knows what he's doing. Like, he really, really knows what he's doing. And every anime soundtrack he pops up on is absolute gold. Like, Bleach and Evangelion, like, they've reached the zenith of Shirou Sagisu's music prowess. The man's insane. I will chill for Shirou Sagisu for the rest of my days, because that man needs a fatter paycheck for the music he be pumping out. Like, seriously, thank freaking God for his existence. Seriously, I am so hyped for more Evangelion and Bleach music. It's insane. I'm ugh. Like, I got a few, actually, matter of fact, I got a few outlier songs here. I got a few outlier songs that I really want to express my love towards, because holy mother of God, the man is criminally insane. It's like he's a freaking genius. Like, for Christ's sakes, like, he does Berserk, the CGI Berserk. I can't remember the year the movie came out. He did Shin Godzilla, you know, shit like that. Like, I want to talk about the other series, but I have to stick to End of Ava. I have to stick to End of Ava. Like, songs like Angel of Doom, the Decisive Battle. He did what you call it? I think I'm trying to remember just the music from End of Ava 1.0. If I were to talk about all the movies, I'd be going way off course. He did Lucifer's Cries. He did Les Betis. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's like the Beast, you know, the Beast mode. He did Showdown. My voice cracked. Showdown, staggering yet. The final, no, that's 2.0, my bad. I'm getting into 2.0 movies. Like, honestly, there's more movies, there's more songs I want to talk about, but honestly, I'm stuttering here. I apologize. I just like this guy's music so much. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, I love the movie. There are some subtle things that I didn't explain about this movie compared to the original series. For example, Gendo and Fuyusuki speak about some kind of contract they had with Lilith, which wasn't even in the original series. So, yeah. Apparently, Terminal Dogma is now Central Dogma. I honestly don't know what the hell that's. I don't know what the hell that's going to be. You know, I honestly don't know. There was like this scene where, like, after Shinji fought the fourth angel, he was unconscious. He was like some dream. You know, remember that dreamscape shit. And he's talking to Rei, and you know, scenes in the original, they happen in the original series where he talked to, like, you know, his dreamscape, but it only happened after in the battle he had with Liliel, and they really didn't, you know, have that in the original series in the beginning. You know, like they're pushing a bunch of stuff that happens later in the earlier parts of this movie. And I kind of get that, because there's no way they were going to wait until, like, those certain scenes that come up with. I wasn't expecting, like, Rebuild to be, like, a one-for-one remake of the original series. There's no way. But, yeah. Also, Masato has, like, a rank. She's a rank higher. She got a rank higher, you know, and shit like that. Yeah. Like, it's subtle things that, honestly, I don't feel like they need to explain. Like, you know, like angels exploding. When they explode, they have a rainbow effect for some reason. I don't know the purpose on the rainbow effect. I think it's just there. Honestly, I honestly don't know the rainbow effect. Like, you know, all the angels die, a rainbow effect happens. I know some of the angels, when they exploded, like, they rained blood. And I can kind of get the blood rain as, like, hey, you know, when it rains, a rainbow may appear, you know, shit like that. I kind of get it. I don't know, but yeah, because it's based around the 1.0 movie. Based around the first 6 episodes of Ava. There's some characters that go way by the wayside. Like, Masato's cool, but we don't know much of her. You know, like, we have to wait till 2.0 and 3.0 to learn more about these characters, because the movie is largely based around Shinji and Rei. And which I'm okay with. It's just like, you know, because of the nature of the movie, there's some characters that are going to fall to the wayside. You know, we're going to have to wait for, like, the later movies in order to understand, you know what? So sorry. Oh, what their business is. Oh man, I should have not made this video one half asleep. But yeah. So there's some other things, like LCL's like blood red now. Like, LCL used to be, like, kind of orange. But LCL, you know, the Tang, the Tang. I wonder how human instrumentality can even play out in the Rebuild movies. I swear to God, like, I don't know. That imagine early 2021 human instrumentality. If they made it look really good back in the 1997, holy mother of God! Imagine 2021 human instrumentality. There would be no way. I feel like the whole shit would be in CGI, which that would turn me off. But. There's also small, subtle differences. Hell, Nerve and Sele have different logos, you know. Small shit like that, It's honestly, you know, simple things that don't really have an overall effect on the movie, but, you know, just wanted to bring it out. But yeah, that's end of Ava 1.0. You Are Not Alone. Honestly, I like the movie, but I don't know. I just feel like I was more interested in 2.0 and 3.0 more. People, like, have the really, really... Like people believe that 2.0 and 3.0 are very controversial movies, and I can understand what the standpoint you're coming from. But honestly, I feel like 1.0 is like the weakest link in the movie, mostly because it's just, you know, it's a little bit more of Evangelion, the original series. I like the fact that the rebuilds went off of their own course and, you know, did a different experience, because I'm glad they did it in a way where it's not like god awful like they did with the freaking Eureka 7 movies. The High Evolution Eureka 7 movies are the rebuilds of Eureka 7, and they did a poor job at trying to make a new Eureka 7 series. They did a massively shit job, and I hate them. I hate them for it. Rebuild isn't bad. Rebuilds aren't bad, but I will get into 2.0 and 3.0 in the near future. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Peace, everyone. Have a great day. I have to go watch a bunch of more Evangelion movies.